Everyone, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm so excited to be giving you a tour of the Finli platform today. As a quick refresher, Finli is a digital back office platform built for small businesses. We work with businesses of all shapes and sizes, whether you are a solopreneur consultant or a multiple team, national landscaping company, you name it, we are able to support businesses all in between. Our platform is pretty comprehensive. So with the tool, you're able to collect payments from customers, send out invoices and quotes and estimates. You're able to store customer information, keep CRM up to date with the relationships that you have with customers. You're able to track inventory as well as pricing and taxes and report on your business over the course of the year or whatever time period makes sense for you. So we've baked a lot into a really simple and easy to use platform, which we'll walk through in the next 10-15 minutes here. So when you come into the portal, this is what you'll see. This is your Finli dashboard. You can get a quick overview of your business for the last 30 days or whatever time period makes sense. You'll be able to see all of the payments that you've collected either through Finli or outside of Finli, as well as any payments that we're currently processing for you or any payments that we've recently deposited into your connected bank account. You can also get a quick snapshot of all of the invoices that might be overdue. This business, Finli's Flowers, has quite a few that they need to follow up on, and then any activity from you or your team members in the dashboard. Couple things to note about the Finli platform: you can manage multiple businesses from one login, and you can also have multiple team members that all have access to each of those different businesses. So it's a very flexible solution and really easy to use when you're collaborating with maybe a bookkeeper or a front office manager, or even as many as different teams, across the country. As far as the functionality of the platform, over on the left-hand side, you'll see kind of an overview of each of those different services that I mentioned earlier. And we'll get started with payments because that's probably what most of you are curious about and one of the more in-depth parts of our platform. So there's two ways to collect payments through Finli. One is by using a payment link, which is a kind of custom payment terminal. You can think about it kind of like a static, Venmo profile or PayPal profile that exists, where you have a custom link that your customers can come to and make a payment of whatever amount they choose to your business. There's a couple ways you can share that with your customers, either, again, through that custom link, which you can manage in your settings, through either email or text message. You can send them notifications in order to invite them to make a payment, or you can also download or print out a QR code that maybe you put up on your website or put on a flyer so you can easily collect payments from customers. We also make it easy for you to turn this into a donation link. So if you're a nonprofit or an organization that's collecting donations, it's easy to switch the language on not only the payment link, but also all of the automated notifications and receipts that go out after those payments are processed. This is an example of what that link looks like to your customers. So they can come in here, put whatever custom amount makes sense, make payment with either a bank account or a credit or debit card, or if they were doing this on their iPhone, they can use ApplePay as well. And those payments can either be one time, or we also give them the flexibility to set up recurring, weekly or monthly payments to your business. They can add a little bit of information and then go ahead and submit that payment, and that will immediately process and flow into your account. A receipt will automatically be sent to them, and then you'll be able to manage that payment information within your dashboard. The other way to collect payments through our platform is using our invoicing feature, and this is really the bread and butter of our tool here. So we give your business the ability to very quickly and easily send a professional invoice to your customers, and you can do that either on a one-time or recurring basis that'll automatically send out for you. When you come into this invoice builder here, you'll see a preview that's populated over on the right-hand side. Your logo and business information can all be updated in your business settings, and everything else we're building over on the left here. So we'll go ahead and select either one or multiple customers if we're going to send them, all the same invoice. We can choose if this is either a one-time or recurring invoice, and we can set that recurring invoice at, whatever time period makes sense for your business. I don't know what that is, but maybe we'll do this every week for the next little while, and we'll have that go for 12 invoices because we've signed a 3-month contract with this customer or whatever it is. You can choose when the notifications go out. So when you'd like that invoice basically become active where a customer can go ahead and make payment on it is the issue date. And then you can select an invoice period or like a statement period for the invoice. If you've provided these services to a business over the course of the past month, you can kind of specify that. This field is a little bit flexible. And then you'll go ahead and start to build out your invoice. So we will add all of the items that are already saved in your pricing items, or you can create new ones on the spot. And essentially what we'll do is add in the name of this item. So let's call it, a custom arrangement for 2,500 because we've done, or let's see, we'll do 500, and we'll say that this is goods that we offer. We can specify the event date here. Choose whether this item is taxable or not taxable. And if we do want to track inventory quantity for this item, we can specify that here as well. So this is a custom arrangement, so that doesn't really make sense. And I'm just going to actually use this one time on this customer and not save this. So we'll go ahead and create this item. I am doing 10 custom arrangements for them, but I'm going to offer a new customer discount on here. So we'll go ahead and add this all to the invoice. And as you can see, it populates over here on the right-hand side. So we can see that I've provided 10 customer arrangements to this customer, given them a new customer discount. I've specified that this is for the event that we're doing on, the 25th. And also we can see that my sales tax has been populated here as well. So that's something that you can control in your business settings. You can add multiple sales taxes, and you can choose whether or not each item or even each customer is taxable or not taxable. We can add discounts and surcharges to the entire invoice if we'd like, or each individual item. And then we can choose whether we want to give our customers, the ability to process a credit card payment with or without the processing fee. So one of the things that's really nice about our platform is we do give you that flexibility. So a customer can see, if I want to make a payment with a bank-to-bank transfer with ACH, it's free, but if I do choose to take on, if I do choose to make a credit card payment, then I would take on that processing fee. So that setting is available here on each invoice and also in your business settings for, the business as a whole. I can then select any communication preferences I'd like. So maybe I notify this customer by either email or phone, through SMS. I can choose when I want this notification to happen. I can also CC any recipients on this as well, or I can turn off notifications altogether. I can add a message at the bottom. I'm actually going to make this not a recurring invoice, and we're just going to set this one time. And then I can go ahead and send this out to my customer. And as we see, this invoice has already been created. I can download the PDF. I can view the invoice history. So I see, what's happened here on this invoice so far. I can send out any additional notifications, or even just copy that link and send it in another email or put it on, another document for that customer as well. I am Carl and I click on this link and open it up. This is what I'm going to see. So again, either the ability to make payment with ACH or with a credit card. And again, that 3% processing fee is called out here. So that will be added to my invoice total if I do choose to make a payment through credit card. And then I can go ahead and make this payment today, or I can schedule it. Well, the due date's the same, but I could schedule it for the due date if that's in the future, or I can enroll in AutoPay, which means anytime this business sends me an invoice, I trust them. I know I'm going to pay it on time. We can just go ahead and automatically process that payment for them using AutoPay. If for whatever reason I do want to collect payment outside of Finli, maybe I provided this service in person or Carl dropped off a check, I can go ahead and record an offline payment and I'll say that he paid through check. I can include the number here and go ahead and save that offline payment. And then again, the receipt will be immediately sent to Carl. This invoice then moves to completed and I can see this payment history up here on the top right-hand side. And if I were, again, going back to Carl's perspective, if I came back into that invoice after we logged an offline payment, then I would see that this invoice has been paid. I could view the receipt, see that that offline payment was processed on the 24th, and, download this receipt for my records or whatever else I need to, but I would no longer be able to make payment on this invoice. If any payments are processed through Finli, they will all immediately flow into the payments tab over here. So you can see a little bit more detail around each of these payments. So if there were any taxes included, if there was a processing fee, when that payment was actually deposited into your bank account, if there were any notes associated or anything like that. And for any payments that are processed through Finli, we also handle the refund process for you too. So if a customer requests a refund for whatever reason, and the payment was processed again through Finli, you'll see a refund button pop up here in the actions bar on the right-hand side. And we'll go ahead and process that refund for you. Again, send out all the receipts and notifications and everything like that, so you don't have to worry about it. Cool. Coming back into the invoices tab here, you can see that this business has quite a few past due notifications. That is one of the other great things about, past due invoices. That is one of the other great things about our platform, is that we handle all of the notifications for you. So hopefully you have to have a lot fewer of those awkward conversations when, Lori is past due on 3 invoices and our system will just keep notifying them, hopefully until they make those payments. And when they do make payments on other invoices or sign up for AutoPay, we'll say, hey, you also have these 3 other invoices that you haven't paid. Do you want to go ahead and pay those at the same time too? So again, trying to make it as easy for your business as possible. If I click on Lori here, I can go ahead and see an overview of my relationship with her. So we also have a pretty comprehensive CRM built into the platform too. I can store, her customer information. I can add any projects that I'm working on with her specifically that I can add into the invoices. I can store any notes or attachments securely here. So maybe I have a waiver or a contract that I've executed with her. We can keep that in here for my team's reference. And then, most importantly, I can easily see her entire payment history. So if she comes in and says, I think I already paid you for last week, we can access that really quickly. Any invoices that I've sent to her in the past. So if any are past due, I can send reminders here or, remind her of that when I see her in person. I can see any recurring invoices that we're doing with her on a monthly or annual basis, whatever that is, so I can manage these easily. And then I can also see my quote history with her as well. So let's jump into the quoting experience and see what that looks like. The quote process is very similar to the invoicing process. I can go ahead and add the customer that I'm sending a quote to, go ahead and add a couple different items. You'll see the inventory mentioned here as well. Let's see, I'll do, a couple different arrangements for her and add these all to the quote for this for this event that we're working on. I'll go ahead and add the sales tax to the items that I'm billing her for. Maybe I add a discount on the entire thing. And again, I can choose whether I want to notify her via email or SMS. And then when I go ahead and send out this quote, this is what it will look like for Lucy. So I'm not able to approve this because I'm not Lucy, but if I were logged in as her, I would be able to either reject or approve this quote. And if I did approve it, then our system would flag that for you as a business, and you'd be able to immediately convert that quote into an invoice that's then ready to collect payment on. So coming into our pricing tab here, we've already used a lot of these within our invoice and quote builder, but what we'll look at here is the way that you're able to manage the inventory quantities, and also, keep track of any of those products that you're using, any discounts and surcharges that you've added, and then also any of those taxes that you might be adding to your payments. These are all pretty flexible, so you're able to put in any custom tax rates here and decide if you want to apply this to all invoices or not. Again, you can have customers that are taxable or not taxable, and you can always toggle these on and off within each individual invoice. For products, for the inventory management side of things, it's pretty easy to add products. We already went through this process on the invoice builder. Again, and if it's a physical item that we want to keep track of, I'm able to add the quantity on hand that we have and the reorder point, which is when I'd like to be notified that I am out of a specific item. And as you can see, the low stock is called out here on the red vase. We're completely out of stock on the glass vase. The other ones we're doing okay on. So I've received notifications for these two already. And if I do, order more inventory and we restock and want to update the item quantity, we're able to do that. And I can see when the date was that I updated that inventory last. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of functionality that is built into our platform here. I'll cover really quickly some of the settings that you're able to manage for the business as well. So as I called out earlier, you're able to customize your logo and your business information at any time. You can also add your EIN and tax ID if you want to display those on invoices and receipts for customers. We have some settings around payments. We talked about that 3% credit card processing fee. Again, you can choose if this is something you want to take on as a business or something that you want to pass along to your customers. This is where you're able to connect that bank account that all of your payments are getting deposited into. We do also integrate with a couple different accounting systems. So if you use something like QuickBooks, you're able to connect that here. And then any payments that are processed through our system will automatically flow through into your accounting system so you can keep track of them there as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the platform is completely collaborative. So you're able to add different team members. You can designate whether they are admins or just regular team members, all within this part of your business settings. So we covered quite a bit over the last few minutes here. We have a ton of more detailed resources on our help center at support.finli.com. Or if you have any specific questions about the platform, feel free to reach out to our support team at support@finli.com. But thank you so much for taking the time to check out the platform with me today, and hope you have a great rest of your day.